If you're watching this video right now, then that means you probably heard the famous classic phrase, selling your soul, usually meaning to have a contractual obligation with the devil for success on earth, for the trading of your soul for eternity. Which, can I just be honest and say, that's like the worst fucking deal I've ever heard in my life. Literally the epitome of a 360 deal, but for your soul. Let's just say about 60 years of fame if you're lucky, and that's probably like a supermax contract too, for your soul, to then spend an eternity burning in hell. That's such a lopsided affair. And when I put it like that, it makes you question, why the fuck would anyone do that? Well, I'm here to tell you that's not exactly how selling your soul works today, but it's okay because I did the research for you to spend a few minutes retaining the information. So let's get into it. What is up? It's your boy Zio, and today I'm back here with another video. Basically, let me take these hose off. I'm gonna be explaining the classic saying that we've always heard, usually pertaining to actors and musicians or anyone associated with Hollywood, or if you like to call it Hollyweird. But it's selling your soul. And what piqued my interest upon this topic to speak on it today is a video I've been watching for years now, and within said video is a line said that really rubs you the wrong way and makes you really think, what does this sentence really mean deep down? But this is before going into a well-written and beautifully sung song that really makes you completely forget what the fuck was said right before it went into it. But if you don't know what I'm talking about already, I'm referring to the Steven Tyler performance of Dream On at the infamous radio host Howard Stern's birthday bash. I'm gonna play the clip for you real quick and you're gonna see what I'm talking about.
To you. And here's to hell. May we have as much fun there as we had getting there. Huh, Howard?
And we'll be there.
If you don't by chance know who Steven Tyler is, God bless your soul, but he's the lead singer of one of the best-selling rock bands of all time, Aerosmith, known for their hit song that Steven actually sings in the video, Dream On, which I had to admit, if you haven't listened to it before, is an absolute banger, and you should definitely listen to it at least once in your life, bro. It's literally, in my opinion, a top 100 song of all time. I don't give a fuck what you say, but I continue. Now, do you remember what I just said about Aerosmith? And I know it was subtle and quick, so you probably didn't catch on to what I said, but ow, fuck. I bit my cheek, bruh. But what I was saying was that they were the best-selling rock band of all time, being active since the 1970s. And if you know anything about rock, especially in the late 1900s, then you'll know how evil and closely tethered to the devil the genre publicly was perceived as, mostly by devoted Christians. This was also at the same time as the Satanic Panic in the 1980s that helped push the narrative that rock and metal music was wicked and unholy. I believe bands played into the fear of people, and you can even see it within the imagery, such as AC/DC, Highway to Hell, any Iron Maiden cover, and even more popular, and you probably done this in your life at least once, but the horns represented by lifting only your index finger and pinky. But I want you to remember that artists using the fear of the audience to their advantage. Remember that. But you may be asking, now what does rock have to do with Hollywood and selling your soul? Well, this phrase originated from the story of Robert Leroy Johnson. Robert Johnson was an unsuccessful blues musician with a burning desire to become famous, so he receives guidance from an older, withered man who tells Robert to take his guitar to the crossroads near Dockery Plantation at midnight. When arriving at the crossroads, there was a large black man, quote unquote, the devil, there, who took Robert's guitar, tuned the guitar, then played a few songs, returning it back to Robert, giving Robert the mastery of the instrument. And what was the price for this mastery of the item that Robert so desperately wanted? Yeah, his soul. After finalizing this deal, Robert then went on to become a successful musician for a few years, to then unfortunately and mysteriously pass away only at the age of 27 in 1938. And people still to this day do not know exactly how he passed away, because he was found dead after a time of already being dead. But I also want to say, if you do want a story on the 27 Club that Robert is a part of, I'll definitely do that video. Just leave it in the comments and I'll get right to it. But after the passing of Robert, the world was exposed to the stories and idea of selling your soul. In today's terms of selling your soul for certain people, that just means going to a Diddy party, or sacrificing someone you love, or maybe scarring your body with tattoos and piercings, changing your entire look and persona. Nowadays, selling your soul isn't going to a Highway 66 and doing satanic rituals to then summon a demon who makes you sign a 5-year non-guaranteed contract with your blood as the ink, or meeting a large black man who grants you the gift of mastering any skill you ask for. Instead, nowadays, selling your soul is throwing your moral high ground out of the window and succumbing to evil executives who plan to use and mistreat you just for your shot at fame, changing the person you once were before the notoriety gained. Because in recent times, selling your soul hasn't only been related to rock, but all genres of music. Rap music, which like rock overtook the mainstream and became the new hoopla music that people were covering their children's ears from, and telling little Johnny to not listen to as a child because of how inappropriate it was, with the themes consisting of sexual lewd acts, violence, and the promotion of distribution of drugs or even using. Well, that was more in earlier years of rap and hip hop, with artists such as NWA to Tupac to DMX to Eminem, etc. Nowadays, parents tell their children not to listen to hip hop because of the imagery and evil subliminal messages within the music from our biggest stars. We have artists like Playboi Carti, Lil Uzi Vert, and Trippie Redd, who have taken heavy inspiration from rock artists and then use the imagery that promotes Satan at times for promotion. And if you remember what I said earlier, a lot of artists will use the publicity and naiveness of people to use these evil images as a form of boosting and engagement. And recently, to blow up, the artist Yeat, who has a song named Met the Devil, where he says, not only that, but if you tune into the Super Bowl just a few weeks back, you might have noticed the discourse around the internet over popular artist Ice Spice wearing an upside down cross chain gifted from the artist Playboi Carti, which, if you don't know, has built his brand off of the shock value of Satanism. And sure, yeah, the devil is in their music and in their imagery, but at the end of the day, it's all for shock value. And I feel in today's world, the devil isn't anymore a black man who's gifting you your skills and your mastery. Nowadays, the devil is fame. The devil is clout. It's Lil Uzi Vert going from this to that, or Drake becoming the most popular artist out of his country and in the world and naming himself the sixth god, which some people find uncomfortable with such imagery as his Summer 16 cover. And yeah, I understand, I'm not a dumbass. The 6 is representing Toronto, but with his imagery of the 6, it's kinda, you know, people aren't as slow as you believe people are. Like, it's in your face, bruh. But I'll tell you right now, I don't believe every person is a Satanist or doesn't believe in God, because plenty artists and actors mention God and they always say how he's helped play a role in where they are today. So some may lie, some may tell the truth, but at the end of the day, selling your soul in today's terms is just doing whatever has to be done for you to stay relevant, stay in the headlines, and stay on people's minds. And that's why I believe that the saying has died down a bit and moved on to a new phrase that's been more popular as of late: humiliation ritual. And look, I know everyone has mentioned Lil Uzi, Playboi Carti, Trippie Redd, Travis Scott, X, Lil Nas X, etc. before, and I know they're low-hanging fruit, but times are different now, because nowadays you can become the devil. You can become a Diddy, you can become a Andre Harrell, you can become a Clive Davis, you can become fucking Harvey Weinstein or Dan Schneider. You can become the beast and the monster that grants those people who are looking for an opportunity of fame and fortune that opportunity to experience it. The person is now the devil in today's terms. There's many stories which I feel if I get too close to the sun on might mess my shit up, so I'm gonna be quiet for now. But I'm gonna leave you off with this last saying, and it's pretty well spoken to me, and it gives you a better perspective on just exactly why you might hear at times people say the devil was the head of music in heaven. That's just a theory and conspiracy, hypothesis, whatever you want to say. It's not confirmed, but I'm gonna put into perspective why most people think that. I'm gonna leave you off with this. Music puts humans in a trance-like state. Being in that state, it is easier to manipulate our minds and input specific ideas into our heads, leading us to commit actions that would be hard for us to do because of our moral conscience that would usually stop us from making the wrong move. Music bypasses our moral mind and all of the barriers that we have, preparing us by implementing feelings of euphoria and happiness, then inputting certain ideas that if we were presented with without the music, we would certainly not act upon. But because there is the music, we might find the sounds attractive and adopt them as our own, and finally commit the action that has been implanted in our brain. And that's just an example of subconscious programming that these artists do. That's it for my video. I know I didn't go too crazy deep into it, but I did want to give off how I feel about today's climate with the selling your soul speech and how people go about selling their soul, in my opinion. If you think or disagree with what I had to say, comment it, let me know. I definitely want to start a conversation about it, because this is a rising thing in the industry and more people are catching on to the little subliminal messages that artists are doing. And yeah, as much as I believe that it's just artists feeding off of the fear of people and Satan, and I believe there is a new panic coming back with the Satanism that people aren't aware of, because it's starting to increase in our media day in and day out. So I just want to know how y'all feel about it. I love y'all. Thank y'all if y'all watched the video all the way through. I'm gonna come back with some more content, the deep, hard-hitting shit like y'all been wanting. And this is Zio signing out. Love y'all. Peace out. Stay cool. Soldier out.